Exploring your passions and pursuing your passions, in my eyes, was never something that was meant to be optional. Somewhere along the way, many of us were convinced that the things that light us up inside, our gifts, our hobbies, our unique passions, the activities that make us lose track of time, don't really matter compared to work and responsibilities and quote unquote real life. We're told to grow up, we're told to be practical. And while responsibilities are important, we all have responsibilities that are important to us and things that we need to take care of and things that we need to do. The lie is that our passions are secondary. And in reality, in my personal opinion, they are not. They are essential. Think about when you were a kid for a second. You probably had something you loved to do. Maybe it was drawing, maybe it was singing, maybe it was building things, maybe it was writing, maybe it was playing sports, maybe it was exploring outside. Back then, no one had to convince you to spend time on it. You did it because it made you feel alive. You did it because something within you maybe felt called to do these things. You felt happy, you felt joyous doing these things, so you did them. But over time, society, teachers, or even our families told us that those things weren't as important as our grades or our careers or our obligations. And slowly, we pushed them aside. We no longer did them. We no longer felt it was important to do them, although it provided us with happiness and, maybe fulfillment or satisfaction. We decided that they weren't important anymore. Someone made us feel like they weren't important anymore. We started saying, I don't have the time, or one day I'll get back to it. That's when passions got downgraded to being optional. The cost of living that way is too high. When we stop prioritizing what excites us, we lose connection to who we really are. Life starts to feel like an endless checklist of things we have to do rather than something we get to experience. So many of us, I feel like, don't even realize how much it's weighing us down until years have passed. When we stop prioritizing the things that excite us, the things that we're passionate about, we slowly lose connection to who we really are. I genuinely believe that. We start to shrink into our routines. We wake up, we go to work, we handle our responsibilities, we check off things that we have to do on our to-do list, and then before long, life starts to feel like survival or just like you going through the motions rather than actually living and enjoying and noticing like the beauty that exists all around us. Days start to blur together because there's nothing that really sparks joy. There's nothing that piques our curiosity. Instead of experiencing life, we're just managing it. And deep down, that creates just this sense that something's missing, even if on paper, everything looks fine. On paper, you may be great. Everything seems to be great, but something inside of you may feel empty or like there's something missing. And maybe you're just trying to figure out what that thing is that is missing. I think over time, if we ignore our passions, we ignore what excites us, what we feel drawn to naturally, we feel drained, we feel burnt out, we feel uninspired, not because life is meant to be dull, because it's not, but because we've cut ourselves off from one of the biggest sources of energy we have, joy. Think about how many people say, I don't even know what I like anymore, right? It's not because they never had passions, but because they've buried them underneath everything else, all the responsibilities and all the obligations that they have. So they either tell themselves they don't have time for the things that they enjoy or the things that they find exciting or inspiring, or they don't even know what it is anymore. They don't even know what it is they want. They don't even know what excites them or what brings them joy. But I think the truth ultimately is when you make space for your passions, everything else gets better. Doing what you love isn't selfish. It's fuel. And when you spend even 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes a day writing or painting or playing music, if that's what you love, whatever it is that lights you up, you don't come back with less energy for your responsibilities. You come back with even more. You feel lighter, you feel more centered, you feel more grounded, you feel more yourself. That energy spills over into every single thing else that you do, in the people that you speak to, in your work, in your relationships, your health. Every area of your life benefits when you're connected with your unique gifts and passions. And I don't want this to come across as, you have to do something dramatic. You have to change your life dramatically to start doing this. Like, not at all. You don't have to take drastic action or change your life completely to start doing this. You don't need to change your life completely to honor your passions or your gifts. You just have to make them a consistent part of your life. Start making them a priority. Start small, 10, 15, 30 minutes a day. That's all I'm talking about here. And if you feel like you don't know what it is excites you or inspires you, or you don't know what it is that brings you joy, just get quiet, get present, and ask yourself, what did I love doing when I was 10 years old, before anyone told me what was practical? And then just carve out a little space for that in your day-to-day life and protect it the way that you would with any other responsibility. Because the truth is, it is a responsibility. It's a priority, and it's a responsibility to yourself. The next time you catch yourself saying you don't have the time, remind yourself that the things that excite you, the things that make you feel most alive, were never meant to be optional. They were meant to energize you. They were meant to remind you of who it is you really are at your core. And I think one really cool thing that I've even told myself when I feel like I don't have the time for my passions or the things that I love is, it's not only going to benefit you, it benefits the world. Like, the world benefits from you choosing to prioritize your passions and your unique gifts. And when you honor them, everything in your life, I feel like, just feels way more meaningful and more enjoyable. If there is something that you love, a unique gift, a unique passion, you have to realize that they were given to you for a reason. And questioning why you were given these gifts, why you were given these passions, exploring, tapping into why they're yours. I think that's important to question and to explore and be curious. And who knows what can come from that. Even if it's just you being a little bit happier in your day-to-day, a little bit more fulfilled, feeling a little bit more energized, isn't it worth going in and unlocking within you why you have these things, why you have these passions, and why you have these unique gifts? Isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth just exploring them a little bit? When you were a little kid, you weren't filtering your joy through expectations or productivity. You didn't care if painting or drawing or singing was something that could make you money or something that could impress someone else. As a kid, in the moment, you weren't thinking about, oh, if I do this, it's going to help me get to my goals. You weren't thinking, if I do this, I wonder what this person is going to think about me. You just did it. You did it because you wanted to do it. You did it because it brought you joy. Actually think about this. You did it because it made you lose track of time. You did it because you felt alive doing it. As a child, as a kid, there's no equation in your head about whether this passion would turn into something big or whether or not it would look good. You just did it. There was no thought. You just did it. The value was in the joy itself. So actually think back. When you played soccer, basketball in the park with your friends, when you picked up a microphone and just started singing, when you stayed up all night reading books, you didn't wonder, will this improve my worth? No. You just immerse yourself in doing something purely because it pulled you in. And that's what makes those early passions so revealing. They show us deep down what lights us up when no one else is watching, when no one was grading us, when no one was assigning value to it. And while most of us were told to grow out of it or be realistic, those passions never really leave us. They're still deep within us. They're just untapped. They get buried under responsibilities, obligations, societal expectations. They get buried under our work, and they're just waiting to be uncovered. The things that we loved to do when we were 8, 9, 10 years old can often point you toward what your gut, like what your soul even has been craving all along. Who knows? I don't mean to make this super spiritual, but I just think there's a lot of power in doing the things that you love, and how that can not only make a positive impact on you, but how it can make a positive impact on your community, your friends, your family, and ultimately the world around you. Because when people are true to themselves and authentic, and they talk about things and express their passions with conviction, and they talk about the things that they love, that has the power to inspire someone else to talk about the things that they're passionate about, and talk about their unique gifts, and talk about what they love. And then that could have a positive impact on someone else. And I feel like the world just becomes a better place when people pour their heart and soul into what they love, and they express that openly and speak about it, and they vocalize it, and they have conviction around it. That is so powerful. I really believe that the energy behind that holds a lot of power. Your unique gifts, your unique passions, pursuing these things, I truly believe were never meant to be optional. They are essential. So, in any way, shape, or form, think back to when you were a kid. What did you love? What did you do just for the sake of it? Because it brought you joy. How, in even the smallest of ways, can you incorporate doing that a little bit more in your day-to-day life? And if you can, notice, are you happier? Are you more fulfilled? Are you able to give more to other people? I really believe that this is at least worth exploring. So that's really all I wanted to get across in today's recording. I want to say thank you very much for listening to these episodes and podcasts. Thank you for being a part of Presence of Being and everything that we're building at Presence of Being. You can go to presenceofbeing.co and grab a hat if you want to support living more in the moment, living more present way of life. That's what we're all about here. Leaving a like, commenting, subscribing helps a lot. Leaving a positive review on this podcast if you enjoy listening to these recordings also helps a lot. And I just hope that you're having an amazing day wherever you're listening to this. And if you have any recommendations for the things that you want me to talk about, my DMs are always open. You could just hit me up and we can have a chat. And yeah, you can let me know what you want to hear from me and my content. So thank you again for being here, and I will see you in the next recording very soon.